What's going on, guys? This is the DeFi Crypto Alliance show where we are doing our best to be the bridge between our fellow real estate investors, entrepreneurs alike, and the cryptocurrency world, where crypto is the biggest opportunity over the next 12 to 18 months, and it's not even close. So, welcome along on the journey. We're pumped to have you guys. Corey, take it away.
Good morning, Hexicans. That a pump day for us.
A little too much feedback there, but guys, super stoked. We're having an amazing morning as the price charts are pumping. And I figure we do a quick show today. We're not going to be able to be on long today, guys, maybe 20, 30 minutes max. But let's talk about assets that we can acquire now to acquire more Pulse and Hex later. At the end of the movie, we all want more Pulse. We all want more Hex. That's kind of our end game, right? Especially me with Pulse. That's what I'm in love with. It's the layer one. I want to acquire as much as possible before I start DCAing out in the top of the bull. And so what can we do now to acquire and use leverage plays on top of Pulse and Hex? And I figure we talk about some coins and some protocols that we're acquiring or that we have. And guys, this is your moment. Go ahead and shill in the chat whatever you like, whatever you're acquiring, what you think that everyone's missing the boat on. We want to see it in the chat. Shill away. We don't care. Let's talk about some assets, man, that we're using as leverage for acquiring more Pulse and Hex. You're on mute, Dane.
So thank you. Let me go ahead and pull up. Let's look at some charts.
Let's do it. That's what gave me the idea. Was yesterday you were looking at some of these. Oh, look at that.
Yep, look at this nice little green candle today. So we talked about Tetra yesterday. We've been talking
was
about
that you?
Tetra.
Was that you?
It was partially me. Yes. Well, this was me. I bought yesterday. I didn't buy today. So this was me right here. I was part of the start of the pump.
Okay.
Which is good. So full disclosure, me and Corey are reasonably large holders in this ecosystem. I bought more last night because if you look at this price chart and you scroll in, we're pricing things in Pulse. You could see that this is very undervalued compared to where the chart has been previously in relation to Pulse. I mean, if we get back to all-time highs in relation to Pulse, there's another double here. So that could be a potential to, like Corey's saying, if you wanted to grow your Pulse bag, there may be an opportunity in the future to be able to go and use this buying opportunity now to swap back. So once again, we don't give any financial advice. We could be totally wrong. Go buy bonds. Maybe all this stuff goes to zero. This is what we're doing and what we feel pretty solid about. We're sharing our opinions. So take it with a grain of salt.
Literally, if you put $1,000, just say hypothetically, into Tetra right now, or just hypothetically speaking, and you wait till it to reach the all-time high against Pulse, basically it was like buying $2,000 worth of Pulse. You got double your Pulse, which is pretty powerful, especially now, guys, that we're kind of entering the bull run here, and we're seeing a lot of momentum. Pulse is starting to pump. Hex is starting to pump with the stuff that we love. Like, there's going to be a point in time where some of this stuff is pumped so much where basically my DCAing is no longer going to happen into Pulse or Hex because I just can't move the needle anymore because I've acquired so much here in the bottom, and that acquiring any more on a 3, 4, 5x from here makes no sense. But there will be assets in the ecosystem that you can utilize to acquire more Pulse or Hex. Now, I know it's a trader's mentality. And don't do this if you're not comfortable with ratio trading. Sami talks about this a lot. It could be a really quick way to get wrecked too if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not watching the charts, if you're not involved in this every day. Don't do it. If you're a kind of like some of our mastermind members, like if you're the guy who wants to just kind of like set it and forget it, this is not the strategy for you. But like I said, once again, I'm looking for ways to acquire more Pulse. I'm always on a mission, man. I want to acquire as much Pulse as possible. And I'll tell you, one of my plays to acquire more Hex, and a lot of people are going to think this is controversial because they're like, well, you should just keep it. Well, my way to acquire more P-Hex is acquiring E-Hex. And so people are probably thinking, oh, well, you should just keep your E-Hex and stake it. I acquired a rather large bag of E-Hex. Not large, but a medium-sized bag, I guess. And what I'm going to do is I believe at some point in time in the future, whether it be the near future, mid future, that there will be a point where EHEX will reach PHEX parity again. We reached it almost a few months back. It was not exactly parity, but it's very close. It might as well been a parity. I believe it will happen again. And when that happens again, I will. That's my leverage play on PHEX. I'm using my EHEX to acquire more PHEX. It will literally double my liquid PHEX bag if my play works out. Which, hey, that's cool. And if it doesn't, then I'm left holding EHEX. Like that's not a bad thing either. Like I'm okay holding EHEX. I love hex. And so like if it doesn't work out, then what? Like the worst side of the equation is like I hold EHEX. Oh wow. Poor me. Like I'm okay with that. So you could do this with assets that you don't mind holding long term, like Tetra. Dane, if you acquired more Tetra and it didn't go back to the all-time highs against Pulse, and Tetra ended up being a beautiful asset that was delivered as what they promised on. I don't think you're going to mind holding Tetra more Tetra long term.
Right, I'm real comfy with it.
Yeah. So do it assets that you don't mind doing this with. So that way, if you get caught up on the other end, you're like, oh, whatever. I'm holding an asset that I love. I was just holding more of that for I could get more of the thing I really wanted. Another one, Dane, Icosa, the leverage play on Hex, right? You could also consider the leverage play on Pulse because it will probably outperform Pulse in the short to midterm. And so you could probably acquire Icosa if you wanted to get more Hex or if you wanted to get more Pulse. Right now, even still in these levels, I believe, if you think that Icosa, we had mentioned that on the show yesterday, if you think Icosa can go anywhere from $5 up to $20, even $5 a coin is insane to think about.
Oh, insane.
We're at 26 cents or whatever it is. Like that's insanity. But like imagine getting up to $5 a coin and then using that power, that economic energy to swap into Pulse. Oh my gosh. Or into Hex. That is massive. You can literally do some damage on your bags there if you know what you're doing and you play the game right. Now, once again, if you like Icosa and it doesn't go to $5 a coin, and maybe it goes to $1 or 50 cents, but it's still making you more Icosa because you could stake it or whatever the new protocol that Alex has got coming. Like, as long as you like the protocol, who cares if you're holding more Icosa at the end of the movie? Like, whatever. Like, I'm cool with it. But I will play the ratio swapping game if it allows me to.
Yep, absolutely. And the thing that I really like about getting a little bit of diversification is you, at least for me, I don't feel like I'm getting left behind when something runs. Like if I have too much money in one particular place and not in other places, then you see you see some of this stuff run, and it's interesting in my mind to like evaluate how I feel, and I'm pissed off, and I find that like I want to go act like a dumb maxi because I want people to buy my bags, and it's ridiculous, right? And I recognize that. And so one of the things I did last night is I picked up some of the stuff that I was extremely resistant to, over the last since PuleChain's been around. But gosh, like it's shown that it could do something. Maybe it all goes to zero once again. I don't know. But I did a little meme shopping last night. And I feel good about that because it's small bets, and if they run, then I feel good about it. Like I'm part of the fun, I'm part of the ride, and I think a lot of this really comes down to managing your emotions and your mental framework. And you need to find ways just to build out a place where you're comfortable and you can stay engaged and happy. There's a really good book. It's called Atomic Habits. If you guys haven't read I'd recommend reading it. The premise of the book is not that the premise of the book is that none of us have enough willpower to go and do all of the things that we ought to do for ourselves. And so what you can do is mitigate the need to use your willpower to do the things that you need by setting up your environment in such a way that it naturally encourages the behavior that you want. So for instance, one of the examples that he gives in the book is if you find that you're somebody that loves to play a gaming system and you come home from work and you sit down and all of a sudden 4 hours is gone, and you didn't want that to be the case, then take the gaming system when you're done playing, unplug it all, put it up in a closet, and that way the next time that you come to play, you have to be very conscious about that decision. You got to plug it in, hook it all up, turn it on. It's not something that you do unconsciously. And man, I read that book. I love sitting down and playing the PlayStation. I just find it incredibly euphoric. I love that.
I love video games. We're video game generation. That's why we came up in that generation of Nintendo, and I'm there.
But I'm totally like, I'm not somebody that's good at like, when I'm into something, I like to be in it, and I like to be in deep, and I like to get freaking good at things. And you need to spend a lot of time if you want to get good at video games.
It sounds like you have an addictive personality. It's a good thing you never. It's a good thing. It's a good thing you never experimented around with drugs and alcohol.
You know your limits, right? Because I'm like, if I open those doors,
me.
I'll be screwed.
Right? You ended up just like me,
man. But literally, like after I read that book, because I would sit down and I'm like, I'm feeling this itch that I need to go and play. And so I unplugged it. I stuck it up in my closet. I haven't played it in like 3 years.
Don't block yourself all the way out. Give yourself a little, like, you can,
but once again, like I found, it was really interesting. I found for me that when I unplugged it and I put it up on my in my closet, that there were just other activities that I would prefer to do more. And
reward yourself if you ever got the urge to play.
Yeah, I could.
Saturday afternoon or something. Yeah. You have like a block of time. It's hard because I bought, actually, Dane, it's funny you mentioned that. I bought the new Xbox when I came back to Arizona. I'm like, well, I have my big TV here. I don't have a TV in Puerto Rico because I rarely ever use TV for anything. But I have the big one here. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go buy the Xbox. But man, I found myself so busy throughout the day. By the time like my day's done, I'm having dinner. And then after dinner, it's like, well, I want to hang out with my family. So it's like, I don't turn the Xbox on. So I bought it and I've turned it on like 4 times. And now like it's just sitting over there. Now it's $500. I'm like now I feel good. Like, well, $500. Like I'm probably gonna bring it to Puerto Rico, dude, and I'll buy like
I'll play with you.
I'll get some use out of it. I'll get some use out of it. I'll make sure I get my $500 worth out of it. I mean,
right.
But yeah, GTA 6. Yeah, let's go. I'm looking forward to that.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I'll play with you. But back to crypto. So building a framework through which you're comfortable, and for me, I want to make sure that I'm not feeling like I'm getting left behind. And I know I'm not going to hit everything right, and that's fine, but I want to build an environment where I'm comfortable and it's fun and I can stay engaged rather than being frustrated because my 1 or 2 things that I bought is not pumping with something else that is. So I went ahead, I did a little bit of meme shopping. I added a little bit more to my Icosa bag. I've got a pretty substantial bag there that I'm happy with. And I'm pretty happy with some of the stuff that I added, and I feel good about it.
I love it, man. I'll tell you a couple other ones that I am in, and I saw someone mention in the chat is Pulse Pot. I was an early sack for Pulse Pot. And I'll tell you guys, I mean, some of you guys might hate me for it, but I sold it after launch when it was like, it pumped pretty good. Like I was up on my sack significantly. I sold, and then I was able to buy it back at like 80% discount like 3 days ago. So I picked it back. I picked my position back up, and now we're starting to pump again. I'm like, okay, that's a leverage play for me to get more pulse.
Because do you have? I'm trying to find Pulse Pot on deck screener.
PLSP is a ticker. PLSP. Yeah. That should be your ticker. It has a really beautiful chart, in my opinion. It came out and it did a nice little big pump, kind of like a buy the rumor, sell the news. And the way it looks like it came down like a big giant
candle.
It came down. I don't see the screen. There it is. Oh my gosh. You see that last red candle?
Oh, you bought that one?
I bought the bottom of that.
Nice.
I love
Nice.
the bottom of that. Yeah. So wow. Yeah. To me, it looks like a kind of like a big giant bull flag. The way it comes down into it. If you draw lines, it
Right.
got compressed like everything else, right? The whole PuleChain ecosystem looks like this, and then it's a breakout.
Draw more. We can draw
All the
them
way
from
over on the next. Yeah. Yep. That's where. Yep. There it is. That's what I see.
Yeah, you see this level here holding nicely.
Yep. There you go. Yep. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. It's funny it didn't go back. Oh, we just saw the green candle go up more. Are we pumping the price here on live on the show? Guys, come on, man. DCAN, don't FOMO buy just because the chart's up.
No. Somebody sell it off. I need to get a little position. So somebody go sell.
It's funny how it didn't. What showed me that it was going to break out. Now, this is not financial advice. I'm not a TA guy. Like I have no clue what I'm talking about. Here's my reasoning though. You see how the last red candle, like I was watching it on the daily, and it wasn't going down to touch that support line that you just drew. The fact that it was in the middle, the 50% of the support, and it was correcting, that's where I felt like, man, I think this is where it's going to turn around. So that's a
the Taylor Swift flag pattern. I like that. There's another good comment. Alan says, where are we at? This was a good one. Hold on. We'll put you on here, Alan. You had some good stuff. He says, soon we won't be talking about bribes. We'll be talking about brides.
Bro, I'm already married, man, with the best woman in the world. I don't need any more brides. I'm chill on that one. I just want to make more money to make her happier. Like I want to put her on the queen pedestal that she is and be like, you're the best. And it's my job to do that.
Yep. I like it. My cousin Hedron bag looks like Lizzo right now. He's got jokes. Do you know who Lizzo is, Corey?
No, I know.
She's what's a nice way to say it? She's not a particularly fit musician. That's probably a good way to put it.
Okay. Politically correct.
Yeah,
I love all those. Yeah, here we go. Tetra, Icosa, Fame, and Fiat. Man, those are all my leverage plays. I'll tell you. I have no intent in holding them all the way through the bull market. Sorry. There will be a point in time where I'm going back in the pull. Everything is the end game for me, guys, in this market cycle is going everything probably 80% pulse, 20% hex. Sorry if I offend some of you guys. Some of you OG hexicans are like, no, that should be the other way around. No, not in my head. It's 80% pulse, 20%. Even my pulse X, I'm holding a good sized bag of pulse X. There will be a time where that pulse X bag gets converted to pulse. Just sorry, how it works.
Right. Ricky, glad you're here, man. Yeah, welcome to the show. Glad to have all of you guys. Glad you're plugging in.
You guys keep pumping this chart. It's up almost $6 now. You guys are ridiculous. Dane, show another chart. The problem is we're showing this and they're buying it as we're show the Mintra chart. Let's look at Mintra. I bought a little bit of bag of that back. My story on that, I sacked for it, guys. Once again, I waited till I was in profit. I sold. And then when it corrected back down, I bought half my position back. And it looks like we have some green candles. Hello. Breaking out of that bad boy. I feel like there's a whale in here controlling this chart, man. Because you see these big smack ups of like $400,000. Yeah. Like who in the right mind would do that except for somebody who's like a benevolent actor? Who? Like, would you go in there and smash the price chart with 400 grand, Dane? Hell no. Like you would kill your slip. The slip kills you.
Well, here's a question for you, Corey. Like if you, let's say that we're speaking theoretically here, not about Mintra or anything else for that matter, speaking theoretically, if you had ran a SAC and you got, a significant amount of money, let's say like 10 million plus, would you want to come play market maker like Greg the Duck? I feel like that's a great way.
It's fun.
That's a great way to go freaking lose all the capital and not, which is fine. If the purpose is to pump the price chart for marketing, I'm about it. But doing it well, there's not many market makers that do it well.
Agreed. Agreed. Smashing $400,000 into the price chart only hurts your economic energy. Short term, people are going to sell it down. Like there's smarter ways. I agree with that. Like you need to learn how to be a market maker with good liquidity providing skills. And there's nothing wrong with buy pressure. Like you could set some buy pressure. We've seen Greg the Duck, whoever that is, do something similar, but you don't see him smashing the chart and getting like 40, 50% slippage on his smashes, right? Like we don't see that. He's very strategic and thoughtful on how he does it. And he does a lot of stuff with LPing, which is ingenious. I mean, his LPing is where the money's made. So I want you to show one more chart name.
Let's do it.
PTS.
Let's do it.
And this is going to be for you followers of our show specifically. I feel like I got some, there's going to be some alpha here. You notice how it's not getting smashed up. I mean, it got smashed up earlier on. So as you guys might know, and we're not going to get into the stupid politics behind it and the toxicity behind it, but as you guys may know, there's a lot of FUD going around on Twitter on this particular coin. We saw this coin run really hard. So obviously there is going to be probably some benevolent actors in the background. I feel like there is. They did a sacrifice, and it was a very low sacrifice for what they raised. But wait for this FUD to play out. And if you see the price chart get smashed down, pick up. I mean, I'm going to pick up a small bag. You see that pocket of liquidity, Dane, when it's smashing up, where that one red candle's in between the two green, as the big run up.
Yeah, right here.
No, next one. No, go back on the price when it's running up. As it's running. No. Go back. The big run up. Go to the big run up. Yeah, but show the whole. See the big run up, the beginning of the big. Yeah, there. That liquidity right in there. I bet you if it gets smashed down, if you have a shark sell it, that's the area that it would gravitate to.
Yeah, that'd be almost a 50% drop from here. Yeah, that'd be a nice.
I would pick up a bag. So you guys who are watching our show, this is maybe it's a little alpha for you. Let this Twitter FUD play itself through. I don't mind it. Like I don't participate in it. I think it's toxic. But hey, if you're gonna allow me to go pick up a bag of something that will pump harder later, I'm all about it. I'm gonna pick the bag up. So like I'll pick this bag up. I'll let the benevolent actors or whoever's pulling the strings in the background pump it, and I'll be holding the bag. So, but there could be some selling off if this Twitter FUD plays out. Who knows? It's retarded. It's third grade shit that's going around.
Well, is it? Do you know if it's accurate? I've seen some people posting.
I don't know if we should dive deep into that.
Yeah, let's not get into it.
Let's not get. I mean, bro, this is a token, and we're just playing the price charts. And I wouldn't go. I obviously would not go heavy if it retraced there, because maybe if something really bad did pan out in the future, it would suck. But I would still pick. Hey man, it's a gamble, right? You're playing the lottery. You're trying to 2, 3, 4, 5x your pulse. I would pick up a bag in that pocket of liquidity right there if I saw a sell-off. Sure. I'd pick a bag up. I would swap some of my pulse into it, and then with the intent to go 3, 4, 5x back in to my pulse. Just saying. But not financial advice, like you said earlier, Dane. They can go buy bonds and stocks and see how that works out.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I love this comment. Yeah, feels good to be a gangster. Nothing left. Fair enough. I think that's a fair way to approach things. Luke has a good question here. Yeah, thoughts on privacy tokens. I don't have a real strong opinion on privacy tokens. I don't think that they're great for price appreciation, if that's what you're after. But man, there's some opportunities there to be able to have more anonymity, which I think could be extremely beneficial based upon where it appears like things are going globally, economically, and politically. And so I'm about it. I like it. It's not a bag that I hold for appreciation.
The recent one, the recent fork of Tornado Cash on PuleChain.
Yeah,
it did like I think it was like a 10 or a 13x right out of the gate. I don't think it's doing much right now because it ran so hard.
Sure.
But yeah.
So that's cool. Just a quick in and out show today, you guys. Appreciate you jumping in. And man, we want to hear more about the things that you guys are excited about on PuleChain. Put them on, post them on Twitter and tag us in it. if there's things that we're missing, we want to make sure that we're not missing them.
I
So
want more leverage plays. Give me some leverage plays to go in, and I mean, at the end of the movie, I'm trying to accumulate more pulse and hex. That's what I want. And so bring me the leverage plays, and I will look into them. I would love to see. You know, I played a little bit of meme coin game, like it was a few months back, and I made like, I don't know, probably 10, 20 million pulse off playing it. It wasn't a lot, and especially in comparison to my bag, but like I was able to accumulate a little bit more pulse playing that meme coin game when everything was going wild with meme coins. It was just not enough. I had like $50 here, $50 here. It was ridiculous, but it was fun. And so, yeah, if we could do that on a bigger scale, I'm all about it. Guys, I won't be able to do a show tomorrow. I have to take tomorrow off, but we'll be back Thursday with RG3. So we're going to bring him on. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that he's doing. The PuleChain Tour is absolutely going to kick butt. We are excited for that. We are actually speaking at the PuleChain Tour in Houston. So if you guys are out in the Houston area, I just came back from Houston too. We both did. It's funny. If you're out in the Houston area, you know, for that PuleChain Tour, please come out, say hi, kick it with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk about, you know, obviously crypto, and maybe even a little bit of real estate might get put into the mix of the conversation. Who knows? So
absolutely. Come hang out with us, you guys. Appreciate you. Catch us on Thursday then.
See you guys. Peace.